Okay, let's continue our module 4, quarter 2, part 2, because the first part is evaluating algebra expression. But before we proceed, I just wanted you to look at this. So I hope you can see the images I have here, and I hope you can see same as me as seeing 5 bananas and 4 guavas. Mhm. And also whatever is in the set A, B, and C, whatever is inside the flower symbols. Uh, I hope we are seeing the same thing. So just like for example, we have 1 guava and guava and 3 mangoes, 3 flowers and 1 leaf, then 7 silver coins, 8 bronze, and then 1 paper bill. Now, I hope you are familiar with this kind of shapes: smaller, smaller square, and then bigger square. They will be used to add and subtract polynomials. The rectangle also. So this one is being representing one unit, the x and then the x square. For adding and subtracting polynomials, let us start with looking at what will be our objectives. Identify like terms, adding polynomials, and subtracting polynomials. All I want you to remember what are polynomials and what are not polynomials. So polynomials, they have this number and then the letters, or what we call the variable, and then the exponent and the operational signs. But in non-polynomials, there are 3 things that make this one not polynomials at all. First one is the negative exponent. The third one is the radical exponent, radical symbol, and one, the third one is variable in the denominator's part. So here we are just going to deal with polynomials, and I wanted you to look at what are like terms. Remember the one uh, we studied and learned in our part 1, during the evaluating of algebra expression. The word that is considered and part of the algebra language is similar or like terms. So terms are, let's take a look at the variables part. But I make this one easy for you to remember the like terms by means of the colors. I hope you can visualize them. What are similar or like terms? So we have this same kind. They are the same terms, or are not the same term, but like terms. And they also have like terms because they have x. They are like because they both contain no variable. So we have this one because they have containing m, and 7c. This one has no like terms in 7c because you cannot see something or term with c alone. And also this one, it does not contain, or you cannot see terms with x squared except -5 x squared. This one is just x, but it's not x squared. So to make it like terms, they must contain the same variable or letter and the same exponent of that letter or variable. So when you add polynomials, you have to combine similar terms. So you can add 2 and 5. So 2 plus 5 is 7, or the other way around, you can have 5 plus 2 is 7. As you can see, the order of the addends will not affect or does not affect the sum. So we have the commutative property. If you are going to look at the subtracting polynomials, you can say 2 minus 5, the answer is negative 3, or the difference is negative 3. But when you say 5 minus 2, the difference will become 3. So, it really matters when you put the order of the numbers. The number you are subtracting from and the number you are subtracting from that number. So, it is really important which comes first, because there's no commutative in taking a look at this. There's no commutative in subtracting polynomials in subtraction. That's why it does not apply. So for algebra tiles, when you add, you just something like putting all the squares together. So actually we have two colors when it comes to algebra tiles, different colors. One color is for positive, the other color is for negative. I hope you can see this as we go along. So I can show you how is it done. So addition. So also we have x and 4x. When you add, just the same, x plus 4x is 5x. 4x plus x is 5x at the same time. But subtracting, we also have x minus 4x becomes negative 3x. So when you subtract, you try to get the opposite or the reverse sign of the one being subtracted, that you are subtracting from another number. So minus 4x. So 4x is actually positive. So we will take the reverse. So it becomes now negative. So negative 4x is when you align with positive x. So it is a little bit, the difference is 3. It's 3. So that's the difference when you are having unlike signs. So 4x minus x is simply 4 minus 1. That becomes 3x. X are just being copied. The common literal coefficient is being copied. What you are just going to consider are the numbers. So if you cannot see a number here, there is one as a number, as a numerical coefficient. So just like in here, x plus 4x, it means 1x plus 4x is equals to 5x. We do not add xx. Instead, we add the numerical coefficient 1 and then 4 becomes 5. Or here, 4 and then 1 becomes 5. And then copy that just x. In here, 1 minus 4 is negative 3. And then copy the common literal coefficient. 4x minus 1x becomes 3x. So 4 minus 1 is 3. That's how you are going to add or subtract polynomials. In terms of tiles, it will be easier, but sometimes not very advisable, especially when you are dealing with larger numbers. How are you going to draw? That's very important, and sometimes it is just tiring. But I just use this one to visualize for you to look at in different ways. So one rectangle, or simply x, and 4x makes this one 5x. So can we still see something that can be added? Yes, there's still 3m, 1/2 m, and 1/2 m. When you add 3 plus 1/2 plus 1/2 becomes 4. Then you just copy m because they are common in terms of it. What if you have a lot of unlike terms? Just simply put them together with additional sign or operational sign. For example, 4 plus y, you cannot simplify 4 and y. It's already 4 plus y. It's already simplified. You cannot combine 4 and then y because y is simply with y, 1y. Or in 4, it does not contain any variables. So you do not mix them up. So looks like halo-halo. Whichever way or whenever you put them or place them together, you can still separate them. Parang mixture, something like mixture insides. So subtracting polynomials, ganun din. 3m minus 1 half m, it's just simply 3 minus 1 half. It becomes 2 and a half, then simply copy m. That's it. Okay. So, what are the three methods in adding and subtracting polynomials? Actually, I have already shown you the first one in the algebra tiles, but it is good for you to know, or maybe you are already have this one in mind, the horizontal method and the vertical method. Then, the algebra tiles are just my way of backing up or simply enhancing or simply visualizing the sum and the difference of polynomials. So when it comes to horizontal method, you just have to arrange them side by side. But you have to place together the similar terms. For example, x squared with x squared. Yan, just place them side by side. 3x, 3x. And then you arrange them. 1 and then 5. You know what is good in algebra? It is teaching us to be organized and to be in order. It is really chaotic if you are not going to follow the orderly manner. So, the first one is the biggest one. The biggest exponent, the 5x squared. Then 1, then 0. Ascending order. Or you can have descending order if you like. It is just a way of making or putting place in order. Maganda rin naman ang buhay na maayos, di ba? So, even in math, we follow the same rules, being organized. I hope you are in your in your personal belongings, you are able to organize your things. Now, vertical method. Vertical method is actually the very common because this is what we used to do. This is what we use in mathematics, in arithmetic, in elementary math. We do from top, then you just align the one at the bottom. For example, 45. 45 plus 55. You align 5 units and then 5 units, then 40 and 50. So we align by place value. In here, we align by the exponents and the variables. So we start with the larger one, the larger exponents, descendingly x squared x, and then x to the 0, or simply no x at all. So x squared, we have 1 and 6 becomes 7x squared. Negative 1 plus 2 is positive 1. When you get the different signs, you get the difference. Diba? Pag magkaiba, you always take a look at which one is bigger. If they are equal, then it will not be counted anymore. So, positive 5 and negative 10 becomes... So, what's the difference between positive 5 and negative 10? I've already shown you how is it being done when you have the integers before, no? So if you still confused in adding integers or real numbers with signs, so we will have another time of remediation for that one. So what I'm trying to tell you is that these are the method that we are going to apply in getting the sum and difference of polynomials. So let them be arranged so that you will not be confused and it will be easier for you to find the sum or difference. Okay, I also have the algebra tiles. I also have this one. So x squared, 1x squared, 3x, and then 1. Then we also have 4x. 4x is the 4 bigger squares, then plus 5. When you place this on here, just combining, you will end up with 5x squared plus 3x plus 6. 6. That's it. Something like that. So very cute, no? So easy to understand. I hope I am helping you. So for subtracting polynomials horizontally. So what is subtraction? Subtraction is the difference or the reverse of addition. So still we are going to add, but we still need to get the reverse. So taking a look at the horizontal method, these are the number, or in here we are going to subtract these things. So subtract nyo daw yung buo na ito. So when you subtract again, you take the reverse. So if this is negative, this will become positive. This one is positive, this becomes negative. If this is negative, it becomes now positive. The positive 2. Then, if you're done with that, reversing the sign of the numbers you are subtracting from another number, then it's time for you now to put them together. So 6x squared, you put them together with 2x squared. 6 and 2 becomes 8x squared. Oh, do not forget the other terms. We have negative 3x and negative 2x. When you put them together, it becomes now negative 3 and negative 2 becomes negative 5x. Then 4 and 2, since they do not contain any variable, they are considered a constant. Then 4 and 2 becomes 6. So this is it. This is your number. This is your polynomial, the simplified. So from the many things you have said, from the many terms, you come up with only 3 terms. 8x squared minus 5x plus 6. Walang iwanan, lahat ng tiyan, ha? Not unless you simplify. Okay, so the vertical method also, the first number over another number. Okay, so 2x squared minus 6x plus 12 will be reversed. O, yun muna yung what. Pag nagsasubtract, all you have to do is to rewrite and change the sign before you add. Still, you are going to add, but you take first the opposite signs or the reverse. Pabalik, pabalik. Okay. So, 2x becomes positive 2x squared. Negative 6x will become positive 6x. Positive 12 will become negative 12. Then you are now going to add. Adding, it doesn't mean you are just, it's simply combining. 7, positive 7 and negative 12 is, what's the difference? Their difference is negative 5. You're not going to combine them because they are opposite. You have to see what is the difference between positive 7 and negative 12. The difference is negative 5. Just like negative 8x and positive 6x. Do not mind the x. It will just be copied here. So all you have to do is to look at the difference of negative 8 and positive 6. It will become negative 2. So the difference is negative 2. When you take a look at the x squared terms, or we have positive 3 and negative 2. What's the difference? It's 1, positive 1. So it becomes a positive 1 x squared. But 1 is not being written anymore because 1 times x squared will become x squared. Remember the rule, the identity multiplication, the identity property of multiplication. Anything you multiply to 1 will become the number you multiply to 1. Ayan, so vertical. So when, in terms of algebra tiles, could be a little, I don't know if you are going to be confused, but the one you are to subtract from a number, Just like here, negative 2x squared plus 2x minus 2. And in my drawing or illustration, it is here at the bottom right side. Okay, left side. I mean, remember you take the sign, you take the opposite. Change the sign. Kapag minus, mag-change sa part ka lagi. No? Change the sign. So, from negative becomes positive. From positive becomes negative. From negative becomes positive. Then, you combine them. Ito na po yung result nun. So, 1, 2, tapos dito ay 5. Naging 8. Tama ba si ma'am? 6 plus 2 is 8. Then, tatlo rito, dalawa doon, becomes 5x. Negative 5x kasi different color na siya. So, ito ay 2, yun is ay 1, 3. So, the final answer will become 8x squared minus 5x plus 3. That will be your final answer. Medyo mahirap lang pag tiles kapag magdodrawing ka pa. Pero yung actual niya, ganda niyan. I hope you can create your own algebra tiles. Ito na po. Ito na po yung ending. So, what is 2x minus 7x? What's the sum and the difference? So, I want you to try on your own and then see if you can make this one. Now, if you are having a hard time, let's discuss this on the next meeting. And this is the end of our part 2 of module 4. I hope you learned something. If it is hard for you, you can still go back, rewind, keep on listening until you understand the part where you are having a hard time. Thank you. I am your teacher there. Thank you for trying to understand our lesson.